Hi everybody and welcome to the latest Timeform pub quiz. New haircut for this week's edition, but the same old good standards of questions, hopefully. As ever, a range of racing subjects, 5 questions and the odd bonus point thrown in per round, and a range of Timeform personalities in inverted commas will be asking those questions. Now I'm starting off again this week, and the theme for the opening round in this latest Timeform pub quiz is conditionals, claimers and amateurs. So question 1, just want to know, there's 2 parts to this. Who is the reigning A, champion apprentice, and B, champion conditional? Bit of a clue in this, both are sons of extremely famous former champion jockeys in their own discipline. Question 2. Which 3 female riders have been crowned champion apprentice? Which 3 female riders have been crowned champion apprentice? As an additional bonus point to that as well, with whom did one of those have to share the title? So one of the 3 female champion apprentice winners had to share her title with somebody else. Can you tell me the name of that jockey? Question 3. Which £5 conditional steered GASPARA home in the Fred Winter in 2007 to complete the Sandown Cheltenham double for the big bonus for Mr. Martin Pipe? So which rider, conditional at the time, claiming £5, was aboard GASPARA when she won the Fred Winter a matter of days after she won the Imperial Cup? Question 4, penultimate question. Which claimer in 1998 completed a famous Royal Ascot double aboard his boss's horses SELHURSTPARK Flyer and BOLSHOI in the very same year, in fact, that he was crowned champion apprentice? So this champion apprentice of 1998 rode a double for his boss Jack Berry at Royal Ascot. Can you name the 2 horses that were involved? Finally, want to know who was the only rider who was claiming an allowance on the day to ride a winner at the latest Cheltenham Festival? So who was the only winning rider at this year's Cheltenham Festival to be claiming an allowance on the day? For a bonus point, which horse was he riding? So I want to know the jockey and the horse from the only jockey of the whole Cheltenham Festival who rode a winner whilst claiming an allowance. So that completes that first round.
Right, on to the next round, and in this round it's going to be all about the one and only Frankel. So, question 1. In which year did Frankel make his racecourse debut? So in which year did Frankel make his debut on the racecourse? Question 2. So, Frankel is Timeform's highest rated flat horse of all time with a rated of 147. But what I want to know is, after which race was Frankel first awarded that rating? So after which race was Frankel first awarded a Timeform rating of 147, making him their highest rated flat horse of all time? Question number 3. How many times did EXCELEBRATION finish second to Frankel? So EXCELEBRATION, the top class miler in his own right, how many times did he finish second to Frankel? Question number 4. As a sire, Frankel's first runner was a winner. Name that horse, and for a bonus point, name the trainer of that horse. So Frankel's first runner as a sire was a winner. Can you name that horse, and for a bonus point, name who trained that horse? And finally, question 5. Which horse gave Frankel his first Group 1 winner as a sire? So which horse gave Frankel his first Group 1 winner as a sire?
Right, so last week we played Guess the Horse. This week we're sort of playing Guess the Horse again, but we're also going to play Guess the Race. So I'm going to read out the horses that finished 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd in 5 races that I've picked out. And there's going to be points available if you get the winner, the name of the race and the year in which it was run. So the first race that I've got, the horse that finished 5th was Humphrey Bogart, 4th was Wings of Desire, 3rd Idaho and 2nd US Army Ranger. Race number 2, the horse in 5th, Havana Grey, then we go BATTAASH, Blue Point and MABS Cross. Race number 3, Sea of Grace, NATHRA, CHURCHILL, RIBCHESTER. Race number 4, TORCEDOR, She Is No Lady, HARBOUR, Order of St George. And finally race number 5, EXOSPHERIC, Sir Isaac Newton, MUTAKAYYEF and Highland Reel.
Hi all, hope you're doing well. It's time for the next round, and this one's going to be on the Melbourne Cup. Now, I will apologise in advance to any Australian viewers out there if it's a tad on the easy side, but for the rest of us up here at this side of the globe, hope you'll find it alright. So we'll crack on with question 1. It's a fairly easy one, this. Which horse cemented her place in the sporting history books by winning her 3rd consecutive Melbourne Cup, the only horse ever to have done so, in 2005. That's which mare is the only horse to have won the Melbourne Cup 3 times. Question 2. Which Irishman, who was the first Northern Hemisphere based trainer to win the race at all, was portrayed by Brendan Gleeson in the 2009 film The Cup, which told the story behind his 2nd win in the race? That's which Irish trainer saddled the first Northern Hemisphere trained winner? Question 3. In winning a 3rd Melbourne Cup, the horse in question 1 was awarded the joint highest Timeform rating for any winner this century, with a performance rating of 128. The other winner, running to a mark of 128, was Protectionist in 2014. But from what country was Protectionist brought over to race in Melbourne? So, what country was 2014 winner Protectionist brought over from for the race? Question 4. Melbourne Cup Day is a public holiday in its home city and for much of the state of Victoria. But on which day of the week is it held? Which is the first one of which month? So I want both the day and the month for the point, please. That's on what day of the week and in which month is the race always held? And finally, question 5. Which Tony Martin trained horse lived up to his name when coming agonisingly close to winning the 2016 Melbourne Cup when carrying the number 13 cloth to a head second behind Al Mandin? So that's which Tony Martin trained horse lived up to his name when second in the 2016 race?
Right, on to the next round, and questions in this round will be all about national hunt racing from the last decade, so national hunt racing, anything between 2010 to 2020. Question 1. Which jockey rode Sprinter Sacre when he made his debut over fences? So which jockey rode Sprinter Sacre on his chasing debut? Question number 2. Which subsequent Grade 1 winner finished 13th in the 2016 Supreme Novices Hurdle won by Altior? So in 2016, Altior won the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Which subsequent Grade 1 winner finished down the field in 13th that day? Question 3. 18 horses went to post for the 2019 National Hunt Chase at the Cheltenham Festival. How many horses finished that race? So 18 horses went to start for the 2019 National Hunt Chase at the Cheltenham Festival, but how many horses finished that race? Question number 4. In 2016, Native River won the Hennessy and the Welsh National, but before them races, he started his season in the West Yorkshire Hurdle at Wetherby, where he finished 2nd. Which horse beat him that day? So, which horse beat Native River in the 2016 West Yorkshire Hurdle before he went on to win the Hennessy and the Welsh Grand National? And finally, question 5. Which horse is the last horse to win the RSA Chase and the Cheltenham Gold Cup? So who was the last horse to do the RSA Chase Cheltenham Gold Cup double?
So now we have around all about National Hunt Champion jockey Brian Hughes. So question 1. Which of the champion jockeys' 714 rides in 2019-2020 ran to the highest Timeform rating? Question 2. Brian Hughes has ridden 3 Cheltenham Festival winners. Can you name them? Question 3. Hughes became the first northern-based jockey to win the championship in 40 years, but the title went north 5 times in 6 years during the 1970s, thanks to which 3 jockeys? Question 4. Which 3 trainers provided Hughes with the bulk of his winners in 2019-2020? Finally, question 5. Which is the only other jockey, apart from Richard Johnson, to finish ahead of Hughes in the championship table since 2015-16?
Now time for the answers for round 1 of this week's Timeform pub quiz. This was about conditionals, claimers and amateurs. Question 1, we wanted to know, as a 2-parter, who was Champion Apprentice, the most recent one, and who was the most recent Champion Conditional. Champion Conditional, bearing in mind the season that we've just had, which was curtailed. The answer to the Champion Apprentice was Kieran Fallon, and the answer to Champion Conditional was John Joe O'Neill Jr. The link between the two, of course, being that they're both sons of very famous champion jockeys in their own right. Question 2. We wanted to know the names of the 3 females to have been crowned Champion Apprentice. That was Hayley Turner, Amy Ryan and Josephine Gordon. For a bonus point, we wanted to know who shared the title with one of those. The person they shared it with was Hayley Turner, and the person who shared that title with them that year, on 44 winners both, was Salim Golan. Question 3. We wanted to know which rider steered home GASPARA to win the Imperial Cup and land the bonus for having won a race at the Cheltenham Festival and the Imperial Cup the previous weekend. That was Andrew Glastonbury. Question 4. We wanted to know which Champion Apprentice of 1998 had his high point really during that campaign when he rode a double for his boss at Royal Ascot on SELHURSTPARK Flyer and BOLSHOI. The answer to that was Carl Lowther. And finally, we wanted to know who was the only rider to ride a winner at the Cheltenham Festival just gone to be claiming an allowance on the day. So it was basically the only person to ride a winner at the Cheltenham Festival of 2020 whilst claiming an allowance, and that was Rob James, and the horse for a bonus point was Milan Native. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Right, onto the answers for the Frankel round. Question 1 was, in which year did Frankel make his racecourse debut? And the answer was 2010, when he beat Nathaniel in a maiden at Newmarket. Question 2 was, in which race did Frankel first run to a Timeform rating of 147, making him the highest rated flat horse of all time? And that was in the 2012 Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot, where he beat EXCELEBRATION by 11 lengths. Question number 3 was, how many times did EXCELEBRATION actually finish second to Frankel in his career? And the answer was 4 times. Question number 4 was, Frankel's first run as a sire was a winner. Who was that horse? And the answer was Cuncourt, and they got a bonus point if you could name the trainer of that horse, which was John Gosden. And finally, question 5 was, which horse gave Frankel his first Group 1 winner as a sire? And the answer to that was Soul Stirring, who won a Group 1 in Japan in December 2016. And Cracksman obviously won the Champion Stakes in 2017, which was his first European Group 1 winner as a sire, but actually it was Soul Stirring who was Frankel's first Group 1 winner as a sire.
So it's time for the answers to the Guess the Race round. Race number 1, the finishing order was Humphrey, Bogart, Wings of Desire, Idaho, US Army Ranger, and the winner was Harzand, and it is the Derby from 2016. Race number 2 was Havana Grey, Battaash, Blue Point, MABS Cross, and the winner was Alpha Delphini, and that was the Nunthorpe of 2018. Race number 3, Sea of Grace, NATHRA, Churchill, Ribchester, Persuasive, QE2 from 2017. Number 4, Torcedor, She's No Lady, Harbour Law, Order of St George, Big Orange, talking about the Gold Cup from 2017. And finally, EXOSPHERIC, Sir Isaac Newton, MUTAKAYYEF, Highland Reel, and then it's Postponed, who won the Jobmont International in 2016.
Hello again, it's time for the answers for the Melbourne Cup round. So question 1. Which mare is the only horse to have won the Melbourne Cup 3 times? And the answer is Mackay Be Diva. That's Mackay Be Diva. Question 2. In what country was 2014 winner Protectionist trained before being brought to Australia? He was trained by Andreas Voller in Germany. Question 3. So the Irishman who was the first trainer ever to win, who's based in the Northern Hemisphere, was about to Brendan Gleeson. It wasn't Brendan Gleeson. It was Dermot Weld with Vintage Crop in 1993, and he won it again with a horse called Media Puzzle in 2002. And the horse's story, rather the jockey's story, was made into a film called The Cup, in which Dermot Weld was portrayed by Brendan Gleeson. Question 4. Melbourne Cup Day is a public holiday in Melbourne, but on which day of the week is it held? And the first one of which month? Well, it's always held on the first Tuesday of November. And finally, question 5. Which Tony Martin trained horse lived up to his name when coming agonisingly close to winning the 2016 Melbourne Cup, carrying the number 13 cloth to a head second behind Almandin? That was, of course, Heartbreak City, Ebor winner.
Right, we're on to the answers for the National Hunt Racing round. And question 1 was, which jockey rode Sprinter Sacre on his debut over fences? And the answer to that was David Bass. Question number 2 was, which horse finished down the field in 13th behind Altiar in the 2016 Supreme Novices Hurdle? And that was Bells Hill. Question number 3 was, how many horses finished the 2019 National Hunt Chase? And the answer was 4. Question number 4 was, which horse beat Native River in the 2016 West Yorkshire Hurdle at Wetherby? And that was Silsol. And finally, question number 5, who was the last horse to do the RSA Chase Cheltenham Gold Cup double? And that was Lord Windermere.
So go the answers to the Brian Hughes round. Question 1. Which of his rides in 2019-20 ran to the highest Timeform rating? That was Waiting Patiently, when he finished 3rd in Tingle Creek. Question 2. Hughes' 3 Cheltenham Festival winners, Hog High, Ballyalton and Mr Whittaker. Question 3. The 3 champion jockeys in the 1970s, Ron Barry, Tommy Stack and John Joe O'Neill. Question 4. Which 3 trainers provided Hughes with the bulk of his winners in 2019-20? Donald McCain with 43, Nicky Richards with 23 and Keith Dalglish with 19. And finally, the only other jockey, apart from Richard Johnson, to finish ahead of Hughes in the championship table since 2015-16, that was Harry Skelton in the 18-19 season.